Today, we're going to give a score to the Barbie movie. In order to do that, I separated the score in 3 categories: production quality, the storyline, and audience rating. That's right, we're going to go and check out the best and worst reviews that people give to the movie. You won't believe what people say about it. The Barbie movie. One thing for sure is they nailed the marketing on this one. Everyone, even people who never had Barbies or even remotely cared about Barbie, knew there was a movie coming out about Barbie. For some time, it just became a common conversation topic, and one of the reasons why the marketing was so effective is production quality. It was so interesting to see the fusion between the fake plastic world that Barbie dolls live in, mixed with real people who act as if they were part of a little girl's imagination. There are small details that make you believe in this made-up world, like preparing food and drinks but never being able to eat them or drink them. Houses with no walls and stairs, because who's going to make their doll walk up or down the stairs? Cars with no engine, fake water, fake waves. It almost makes you feel uncomfortable, but in a good way, like you're having a lucid dream. I don't have anything to say against the 2 main characters. Margot Robbie plays a picture-perfect Barbie doll, and Ryan Gosling really gets into his macho beach Ken character. It's a blast to see them both on screen. I found it interesting how the real world felt real for the most part, like it should. But Mattel's offices, on the opposite, were made to look like this huge maze of doors and corridors managed by a group of weird executives that don't feel real. This was probably an attempt to bridge the gap between Barbie Land and the real world, since this group of executives know that their Barbie dolls can travel in the real world and go back to their own world. It was very cleverly done. This is why I give the movie a 2.5 out of 3 for production quality. Production quality alone, however, doesn't make or break a movie. We need to look at the story. And oh boy, are there a lot of things to say about the story. It starts off strong when creating for us the imaginary world of Barbie. The first 30 minutes or so put in place the characters and point out to the recent problems Barbie is having. Her perfectly happy world doesn't feel happy anymore, so she sets out with Ken in the real world to solve this specific problem. Then it's at that moment the movie took a wrong turn. And I mean a complete U-turn on the highway with the semi-truck. We're introduced to the worst band of characters in the movie, the CEO and his tasteless group of executives. I most definitely think the movie would have been much better without them. Their only purpose for the whole movie is to give the audience a false feeling of urgency for Barbie to run away. And when the second part of the plot unfolds with Ken, they become 100% irrelevant.
Ah! Oh, Mitch.
Oh, and don't forget about the mom and her daughter. Do we know anything specific about them? Do we have anything to care about them? Why is the daughter so angry with her mom and everyone around her? Why is the mom depressed? The reason why I hate this is because the movie just assumes that this kind of behavior, of feeling depressed, of being tired of everything in society, is so common that they don't even need to explain it to us. Anyway, by the end of the movie, I wasn't attached at all to the mom and her daughter, because they still felt like strangers to me. And those guys, oh boy. To top it all off, the ending. Already, the ending arrives after the second part of the movie, where it tries to convince us that all men are evil and they will take all opportunities to literally mind control the women to make them do what they want. I'm all for empowering women, but you don't empower women by saying everyone else is Show us why women are great, not why men literally destroy the world that Barbie's built. In the movie, all men in Barbie Land and in the real world are idiots. Then comes the final scene where Barbie meets her maker. This is precisely the moment that I fell asleep and brutally woke up when I was falling off my chair. I was so disconnected with the purpose of the story by that point that I fell asleep when they transitioned into this void empty space and started whispering to each other. Instead of having a moment of awe and realization of Barbie's deeper emotions and feeling and motives, I was staring at the screen wondering how Barbie died and was now talking to her grandma. Because the movie started off well and ended up crashing and burning faster than the Hindenburg, the movie gets a 1 out of 3 for the storyline. Now comes the fun part where we get to see the best and the worst audience ratings. Like usual, here we are on the IMDb website, and we can see that the movie has a 6.9 out of 10 rating. If we go and check it out in a little bit more detail, we can see that the audience is pretty divided between the high scores and the low scores. We have a surprising amount of people who rated the movie 1 out of 10. And I can understand why. The movie is pretty dividing. Either you liked it or you really didn't like it. But now let's go and see what people actually wrote about the movie. I can't wait to see. I think it's going to be really funny. So just for fun, let's start with the worst reviews. Enormously overhyped. The best way to describe Barbie is a 1960s psychedelic musical with incoherent plot. Yes, how did Barbie make so much money? The movie started off strong and then took a wrong turn into Wonka land. That's a very funny way of putting it. The plot was all over the place. Yes, this is exactly what I thought was wrong with the movie. It starts off in one direction, and the second part has no relationship whatsoever to what happens in the first part. Everyone just ends up completely lost when the second part of the movie unfolds. Part musical, part comedy, part parody, part drama equals a hot mess. Yes, and there's another one. The movie Barbie is an utter chaos. It's clearly not intended for kids. It doesn't qualify as comedy. It's not a drama. It's not a musical. In short, it's nothing. Now we saw the 1-star reviews. Let's see the opposite. Let's go to the 10 stars. Check this one out. 10 out of 10. The story is very mature. Thinker of a plot. Once you're done laughing your butt off, you'll get really emotional. Production design is so on point. Yes. That one I agree. Margot Robbie was born to play Barbie and she hits a home run, but Ryan Gosling, this dude rocks as Ken. He knocked it all the way around the world and hit himself in the back of the head. Woo, this guy's a fan. A colorful love letter to humankind. I cried, I laughed, I danced, and I did sing too. What a joyful time I had at the movies watching Barbie. This is a movie to celebrate how diverse and complicated are the humans. Sounds like a yoga instructor is doing a movie review. You have to read this one. You have to read this one. 10 out of 10. Wow. My favorite movie of all time is Aliens. Aliens. It's been my favorite movie since I was 5 years old. I'm 38 now. This has never changed. Until this. I bet you're thinking this review is satire. It's not. What in the world? How do you go from Alien to Barbie? I think we've had enough for today, so let's recap and count the points. So Barbie had a rating of 6.9 out of 10. If we scale it down to 3, that is precisely 2.1 out of 3 for the audience ratings. Reading critics is what it is. You might agree or disagree with the opinion of people. The real question you're wondering is it worth watching? Is it worth your time? Some of you might be shocked, but I have to say no. Now, hear me out. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm not recommending this movie because it has a problem with its target audience. People who think they won't enjoy the movie end up liking it more than they thought they would. And people who thought they would enjoy it end up disappointed. Reason being that it's not a movie for kids. And it's not a fantasy story like you expect it would be from a movie about dolls. It's a modern critic of society that aims to guilt men and liberate women. Who realistically knew that's what they were going to get when they went out to see the movie Barbie? So, if we add up all the scores for each category, we have 2.5 out of 3 for production quality, 1 out of 3 for the storyline, 2.1 out of 3 for audience ratings, and 0 out of 1 for the last question because I don't recommend this movie. The final ranking for the movie Barbie is 5.6 out of 10. Are you still a bit confused about the story from the Barbie movie? Or do you want to get a quick recap of what happened to Barbie and Ken in their adventure? I have exactly what you need. Watch this video where you will get a 114 seconds recap of the story and all the important points you need to remember from the Barbie movie. Don't hesitate to like and subscribe to my channel if you like this video.